awan terbentang, dipuput bayu ke pohon ara. Pemanis kata, selamat datang, awal bismillah, pembuka bicara. Selamat pagi dan salam sejahtera yang berbahagia Datu, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan yang dihormati sekalian. Selamat datang ke webinar Modul Bahasa Inggeris Writing 101 CEFR-Aligned 2021 for Upper Secondary Anjuran, Unit Bahasa dan Task Force Bahasa Inggeris Sektor Pembelajaran, Pejabat Pendidikan Daerah Lahad Datu dan Sektor Pembelajaran Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri Sabah dengan kerjasama Unit Bahasa dan Task Force Inggris Sektor Pembelajaran Jabatan Pendidikan Wilayah Persekutuan Labuan. Kalau pergi Tanjung Keramat, anak manis jangan diangkat. Bersama kita memohon rahmat. Moga majlis mendapat berkat. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, bagi memberkati majlis kita pada pagi ini, kita persilakan Al-Fadhil Ustaz Aziz bin Sarali, penolong pegawai Unit Pendidikan Islam Pejabat Pendidikan Daerah Lahad Datu, untuk membacakan doa.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A'udzu billahi minasyaitonir rajim. Wa qala rabbukum ud'uni astajib lakum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Ya Allah ya Karim, sesungguhnya kami memanjatkan kesyukuran kepadamu kerana mengizinkan kami untuk mengadakan dan turut serta dalam majlis webinar Writing 101 CEFR-Aligned 2021 for Upper Secondary, Peringkat Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri Sabah. Pada hari ini kami memohon kepadamu agar engkau berkati majlis ini dengan limpahan kasih sayangmu. Semoga segala usaha kami dalam menjayakan majlis ini mendapat keredaan dan hidayah-Mu. Ya Allah, Ya Aziz, sesungguhnya tugas kami sebagai guru adalah tugas yang mulia dan murni. Itu kurniakanlah kepada kami, guru-guru kami, hati yang ikhlas dalam menyempurnakan tanggungjawab yang berat ini dengan sebaiknya. Lorongkanlah hati kami agar menjadikan seluruh aktiviti dunia pendidikan sebagai ibadah, mengharapkan rahmat dan keredaan-Mu semata-mata. Ya Allah, Ya Jabbar, pada saat dan detik ini kami hulurkan tangan pengharapan, memohon ihsan dan pimpinan-Mu agar Engkau anugerahkan rasa kasih sayang kepada barisan pendidik yang budiman terhadap anak-anak didik kami, sebagaimana kami mengasihi dan menyayangi anak-anak kami sendiri. Kurniakanlah kepada kami kesabaran, ketabahan, semangat kerjasama yang tinggi dalam sebuah pasukan, semangat permuafakatan dan semangat juang yang tidak mengenal erti putus asa dalam memikul tanggungjawab sebagai seorang pendidik dan berusaha menyumbang tenaga, idea dan kepakaran demi meningkatkan kualiti akademik dan ko-kurikulam pelajar-pelajar khasnya dan di arena pendidikan perdana amnya. Ya Allah, Ya Alim, jadikanlah kami warga pendidikan yang sentiasa mengutamakan kecemerlangan dan budaya kerja yang berkualiti di setiap peringkat. Jadikanlah kami penjawat awam yang sentiasa menjaga tahap integriti yang tinggi, membenci rasuah, serta menghindari segala bentuk penyelewengan dan salah guna kuasa. Perkukuhkanlah keazaman, permufakatan dan persefahaman antara kami, agar kami mampu merealisasikan slogan keramat Sabah hebat, katakan tidak kepada nombor 16 dan katakan ya kepada 10 terbaik. Ya Allah, Ya Halim, jadikanlah perhimpunan kami ini perhimpunan yang dirahmati dan perpisahan kami selepas ini perpisahan yang terpelihara dari segala bencana. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzaban nar. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Emas Tempawa Writing 101 CEFR-Aligned 2021 for Upper Secondary. Dipersilakan.
Salam sejahtera, salam Sabah maju jaya, Sabah hebat. Katakan tidak kepada nomor 16, katakan ya kepada 10 terbaik. Yang berusaha Encik Yusuf bin Haji Muhammad, Pengarah Jabatan Pendidikan Wilayah Persekutuan Labuan. Yang berusaha Dr. Muhammad Kasim bin Haji Tusin, Timbalan Pengarah Sektor Pembelajaran Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri Sabah. Yang dihormati Timbalan-Timbalan Pengarah, Ketua-Ketua Penolong Pengarah Kanan, Ketua-Ketua Penolong Pengarah, semua pegawai pendidikan daerah, yang saya hormati pegawai pendidikan daerah Lahad Datu, semua pegawai SISC plus, pengetua-pengetua, guru besar, panel penulis modul, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan yang saya hormati. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, terlebih dahulu saya ingin melafazkan kesyukuran kepada Tuhan kerana dengan izin dan limpah kurnianya kita dapat hadir bersama-sama dalam webinar Writing 101 CEFR-Aligned 2021 for Upper Secondary, Anjuran Task Force Bahasa Inggeris, Unit Bahasa Sektor Pembelajaran, Pejabat Pendidikan Daerah Lahad Datu dan Sektor Pembelajaran Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri Sabah bersama dengan Sektor Pembelajaran Jabatan Pendidikan Wilayah Persekutuan Labuan. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, ingin saya ucapkan tahniah dan syabas kepada panel penulis dan SISC Plus Negeri Sabah dan Wilayah Persekutuan Labuan. Webinar Writing 101 CEFR-Aligned 2021 dianjurkan atas kesedaran SISC Plus dan guru-guru bahasa Inggeris sekolah menengah untuk menyediakan bahan pembelajaran berfokus kepada murid-murid yang lemah dalam menguasai kemahiran menulis pada tahun 2021. Pada tahun ini, murid-murid yang menduduki sijil pelajaran Malaysia SPM akan diuji dengan format pentaksiran baharu dalam mata pelajaran Bahasa Inggeris, di mana instrumen pentaksiran diajarkan kepada the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages CFR, mengandungi 4 kertas kemahiran, iaitu reading, writing, speaking dan listening. Dengan pandemik COVID-19 ini, murid-murid belajar dalam talian atau luar talian tentunya akan terjejas dalam penguasaan belajar, terutamanya kemahiran menulis. Atas keperluan untuk mengatasi isu pembelajaran dan kekurangan bahan pembelajaran dan pengajaran kepada kumpulan murid berkenaan, Task Force Bahasa Inggeris Sekolah Menengah Negeri Sabah dan Bahasa Inggeris Wilayah Persekutuan Labuan telah mengambil inisiatif untuk merealisasikan tuntutan keperluan tersebut melalui kolaboratif sepasukan yang mantap agar defisit pembelajaran murid, terutama murid yang memerlukan banyak bimbingan guru dan teknik belajar berkesan melalui pengajaran berimpak dapat diatasi. Harapan saya ialah e-modul yang dihasilkan ini nanti mampu membantu guru dan murid menyelesaikan isu pembelajaran dengan sebaik mungkin serta membantu meningkatkan kecemerlangan kualiti pendidikan di Malaysia. Terima kasih kepada semua fasilitator, SISC Lahad Datu, SISC Plus dan juga Puan Chin Chue Wei yang sudah bersara tapi masih meneruskan khidmat sebagai coach. Saya selalu ingat kata Puan, no man is an island, di mana kita memerlukan bantuan sesama manusia. Akhirnya kepada semua SISC, guru bahasa Inggeris Negeri Sabah dan Labuan, saya harap kita bersama-sama membangunkan kecemerlangan profesionalisme guru dan kemenjadian murid yang berkualiti sejajar dengan tuntutan transformasi Plan Pembangunan Pendidikan Malaysia 2013-2025. Sekian dan terima kasih.
Jutaan terima kasih diucapkan kepada yang berbahagia beliau yang bertajuk The Role of English Task Force. Dengan ini dipersilakan.
Good afternoon. It is so awesome that writing 101 CEFR-Aligned for upper secondary is completed. Our dreams and hope is finally a reality. The idea of writing a module for upper secondary lower proficiency students was born during a discussion with Madam Cindy Pei, Mr. Jayasting John and myself. Things started moving very fast when Madam Cindy and Mr. John decided to bring in Lahad, Datu and Labuan English Language Task Force. It will be the first collaboration work between Lahad, Datu and Labuan English Language Task Force. Before I proceed, let me share with you all why I'm involved. I was an English language SISC in Labuan before I retired in 2019. I had wonderful opportunity working with all the secondary schools and some primary schools in Labuan. In 2019, with Madam Cindy effort, PPD Lahad Datu invited me to help out with some secondary school. I share my knowledge with the SPM students as well as the teachers too. I had gone over to Lahad Datu 5 times that year. The project would have continued if there was no MCO for COVID-19 in 2020. In order for students with low proficiency to learn to write, firstly, we must inspire them so that they believe that they can learn to write. Secondly, seeing a student take off as they learn something new, there's a wonderful moment when students get a new skill or concept for the first time, and then we get to watch them taking the first step into writing. Thirdly, we hope to make a difference. Good teachers make a big difference in the life of their students. Those are some of the reasons why I'm still so fond of teaching even though I have retired. Now, let's get back to why collaboration between the English Language Task Force of Lahad Datu and Labuan. We choose to collaborate these writing projects since collaborations encourages the team members to work toward one goal in the most sufficient and sustainable way. It is also formed to bring together teachers to accomplish a project based on the teaching and learning issues in school. The task force enhances the project chances for success as the group members bring together different expertise, skills and knowledge, as well as working together to provide teachings and learning resources that benefit the education organization as a whole. With the collaboration from both places, Lahad Datu and Labuan, the team members can sit on the desired outcome as well as establish each member's role in achieving the team goal. From my experience, the low proficiency student from Lahad Datu and Labuan face the same problem. They dislike writing. This year, 2021, will be the first year the SPM students are sitting for the CEFR paper. Of the 4 papers in CEFR, writing is considered the most difficult for the low proficiency student. It is often overlooked in ESL teaching and learning. Students will shy away from writing due to its many complicated rules, structures, and formats. Writing skill will be useful to them in a variety of situations and can help them develop a more well-rounded English skills. We hope that with this module, Writing 101 CEFR-Aligned, students will become more confident to write after attending this lesson. It brings me great joy and satisfaction to see these students succeed and pass English, especially those who many consider hopeless. This is a specially designed teaching of writing module that provides the low proficiency student the chance to equip themselves with writing skills. Thank you.
Terima kasih Puan Chin Wei, dan kita beralih pula kepada pengenalan kepada modul Writing 101 CEFR-Aligned 2021 for Upper Secondary. Dan kali ini kita akan bersama dengan Encik Jayastin Anthony John, Guru Kanan Bidang Bahasa, Sekolah Menengah St. Anthony, Wilayah Persekutuan Labuan.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today, we are going to talk about this module. That is the CEFR-Aligned Writing 101 for Upper Secondary School. That is between the Task Force for English in PPD Lahad, and also the Task Force for English Language Jabatan Pendidikan Labuan. Okay. Now, this module for the lower end student is to help them to grasp the language, especially in the writing paper. This module is actually to help those very weak students, to help them at least to get a pass in the paper and not leaving this paper blank or not writing anything. With this module, it is hoped that it will help both students, especially the weaker one, from both sides. And as we said earlier, it's a collaboration between Lahad and Labuan schools. Okay. Now, I would like to say thank you to the writers from both sides, and they are given parts to discuss and to come up with a simple way of writing this paper. Okay, we have this module that is for writing. We have also this paper whereby we have part 1, part 2, part 3, and each of the teachers were given a task in that particular area. Take for example in part 1 for email, the teachers will have to come away whereby they will have to write from the beginning till the final product. And then it's also the same for part 2. And part 3, there are 4 types of essay writing. Take for example report writing, article, and also the other 2 parts again. Alright, so in CEFR, the SPM, there will be 3 questions only, but there are 4 types of question. So students need to master at least this part so that they can write something and they will know the format. With this module, we need to let the student write from the very beginning to the very end so that they do write something instead of nothing. So I would like to say thank you to Madam Cindy for approaching us on this module, okay, and Madam Chin, who has helped us a lot. and writers from Labuan here especially, that is Madam Natasha, Madam Diana, and also Madam Grace, who had came over to the school to discuss even during the holidays and even during the weekends to come up with all these materials, and after giving feedback and so on. Right, with that, I would like to say thank you very much.
Terima kasih Encik Jayastin Anthony John dan tuan-tuan dan puan-puan. Sesi berikutnya ialah penyampaian Part 1 email oleh Cik Geraldine Quek Tan Hong dan juga Encik Muhammad Rahmat bin Abdullah.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Geraldine Quek, and I am an English teacher from SMK Tungku, Lahad, Datu. First of all, I'd like to welcome and thank everyone for tuning in to today's webinar session. As the first speaker who would introduce this module to you, I first and foremost would like to share to you a little bit about our aspirations and inspirations for creating this module that we call Writing 101. Initially, every idea starts with a problem, and as teachers, I'm sure many of us encounter these problems, especially in a classroom full of low proficiency students. In my little experience as a teacher, I find that the current content and the syllabus are rather difficult for these pupils to perform in class. The textbooks are great sources for learning, but for these slow learners, they are nothing but a huge challenge. I have encountered pupils who couldn't even answer the simplest task given in the textbook without the assistance of a teacher. They'd need some form of help from the teacher to actually understand the question and to be able to perform. This inspires my team of friends from Lahad, Datu, and Labuan to come up with a module simple enough to assist these pupils. Of course, this module is not specifically catered only to those, and I'm sure all other students could learn a thing or two from our module as well. The Writing 101 is CEFR-Aligned for upper secondary pupils, and this means that we focus on the can-do attitudes that the CEFR has always implemented. What I mean by the can-do attitudes is that the tasks are simple enough for students to follow and answer on their own, and at the end of the module, we hope that it will be able to help them. We also pay close attention to the themes and as well as the new exam, the SPM exam format very closely. Each question is actually tailored in hopes of equipping the pupils with enough knowledge of the given themes and hope by the end of it they can answer on their own. Along the way, my friends will take you through every part of this writing module to give you a clear idea on how we can use this material to help the weaker pupils. Each part consists of 4 tasks, and each 4 tasks will gradually increase, the difficulty will gradually increase as the pupils progress through the said part. Okay, so that means that each part will become much more difficult and students will have to be a little bit more independent. So let's start with the first task of the writing paper, which is the email section. Okay, in this task, the focus is on the format and the technical aspects of the email that students should pay attention to. So it's just a simple task of labeling the parts of the email, which will make pupils much more aware about the elements of the email. We hope that the teacher can stress on the parts of an email so students would be aware. The reason why we created this task like so is because some pupils, they usually fail to make an email look like an actual email. They'll forget the email address, they'll forget the names, where the receiver goes. So we should also take chance to highlight to them other aspects that they can pay attention to. For example, the greetings, the farewells of an email, and the kind of language that they should use when they write an email. So as we can see here, all we have to do is label the parts correctly in for the students to be able to answer. So I'm sure that they can do it. So in the second part, we focus on the content, building the content for the answer. And this task requires pupils to lift the answers from the text to answer the question asked. So this is done in such a way where it highlights to people how they should answer the questions given. All they have to do is find the answers in the text and write them down in the answer section below. So as we all know, in marking, pupils will get marks from content, communicative achievement, language, and organization. So this part will mostly influence the marks given for the content and communicative achievement part. So that's actually half of the marks that they can actually get. So we hope to give, we hope that the students are aware and are able to familiarize with the important details to assist them to answer the questions on their own later.
Hi and a very good day everyone. My name is Muhammad Rahmat bin Abdullah and I'm an English teacher from SMK Tunku Lahad Datu. Today, I will be talking about Task 3 and Task 4 for the email part of our Writing 101 CEFR-Aligned 2021 for Upper Secondary Module. But before that, let's recap on the things that we have talked about. In the first task, the pupils were introduced with the format and technical aspect of an email writing. We think that this is very important as different types of writing will require different techniques of writing from the pupils. Meanwhile, in the second task, the pupils were taught on how to come up with points for their email by identifying and answering questions posed in an email as in the SPM format. Now, in the third task, the pupils will be reintroduced with connectors and discourse markers. Surely the pupils have been exposed to this part of English language since their primary schools. Hence, we think that these two elements would be very beneficial to be included in the module. Not only it can help the pupils to organize their writing, but it also can contribute to the variety of vocabularies usage when they do the email part. Not to forget, both organization and language aspects are also part of what the pupils are going to be assessed when they produce their writing. Let's look at the instruction for Task 3. Your friend Samantha is learning to play tennis at her new school. Complete your email by using suitable connectors and cohesive devices. Here is the prompt for the task. In this part, we only aim to have the pupils to be able to organize points that they would have for their email. We also included some cohesive devices and connectors as guidance for the pupils, since another objective of this task is to familiarize the pupils with the usage and frequent positions of both cohesive devices and connectors specifically in writing. In a way, we also aim to drill pupils, especially those with low proficiency, with some cohesive devices and connectors so that they can use it later in their writing. We have come to the last task of our email writing part of our module. In Task 4, we aim to have the pupils to do a parallel writing. Parallel writing is where the pupils will write about something by using the things that they have learned earlier by just changing a little bit of elements in their writing. We have familiarized them with the technical aspect and format of an email, how can they create points for their email, and how to organize their writing. by using cohesive devices and connectors. The next goal is to have them to write an email on their own as the end product. Now, let's look at the instruction for the activity in Task 4. Your cousin, Alex, is joining the table tennis club at his new neighborhood. Write a reply to his email in about 80 words. And here is the prompt for Task 4. We can see that throughout Task 1 until Task 4, there is an increase of difficulties of tasks. However, we are very sure that these are also doable for those people in the lower proficiency group. Another thing worth mentioning is the main focus of our email activity. The focus is about racket game. Hence, we also included some guiding words and phrases related to the games, such as equipment used, places to play, and the skills involved in the game to ease and help the pupils when writing. This element of our module also target to enrich the pupils with vocabularies so that they can use it later in case they are required to answer questions with the same theme. When they do the final task, they can still refer to the examples of emails that they have done, changing the elements a bit, and finally come up with their own email. By the end of this part of our module, we hope that pupils will be able to produce a proper email regardless of their proficiency. That's all. Thank you.
Beralih kita kepada part 2 dan esei akan disampaikan oleh Puan Grace Milagros Blantokas. Dipersilakan.
Welcome to our webinar on writing 101 CEFR-Aligned 2021 for upper secondary. Greetings from Labuan. Hi, my name is Grace Milagros Blantokas, and I am teaching in St. Anne Convent Secondary School, Wilayah, Persekutuan, Labuan. My role is to explain part 2 in this module, which is the essay writing. The question for my part today is related with the theme of people and culture. So, we will give a brief introduction on what the students will learn from this question. Kick off the class with an introduction of today's lesson or topic. You can be straightforward about it, or you can formulate questions that will lead to the formal class discussion. You may start with a question. What is the meaning of the word pet? Once they know the meaning of it, then we can proceed with the next step, which is to understand the requirement of the question. The question wants the student to, number 1, talk about having a pet. Number 2, why do they want a pet? Number 3, how will they take care of their pet? Number 4, benefits of having it. Now, how do we tackle the question? Divide the process into 3 stages as shown here. Task number 1, vocabulary build-up. Give words to the students that would assist them in writing the essay. Task 2, create ideas. Make simple sentences out of the words given in task 1. And finally, task 3, give opinions and benefits, and the students need to elaborate on the sentences that they made in task 2. Now, let's discuss and analyze together. Task 1 is the process of building up the students' vocabulary list. How? Teachers can search for materials on the list of animals or pets name by giving the multiple choice test. Look on the left side, which have a lot of pictures there. The students need to select the correct answer for the pictures given. Furthermore, we can also give them crossword puzzle on the action words or verbs that the animals or pet do. Lastly, is by giving them samples of passages that explain the characteristic of the animals or the pets on the right side. That is the last material. Now, why do we need to do this? Simple. Most of the students know the words in their own mother tongue, but they will definitely take a longer time in searching for the word in English. From the materials, these students will be exposed to nouns such as cat, dog, rabbit, hamster, iguana. Of course, to some students, these are all common nouns, but for those who are weak, they cannot find the correct word for the nouns or for the name of the animal. Next, verbs such as nap, bark, or hop. And most of all, adjectives on explaining about their pet. Fluffy, a fluffy cat. Adorable, an adorable dog. Energetic. Next. So far, so good. So let's continue. Task 2 is to create ideas. The students are required to create their own mind map using the 5W1H formula. Like on the first box at the top here, what? What is their choice? At the right side, how? How does it look like? The size, color, character, and what can it do? Next is why, the reasons why they choose this pet. And then next, how to take care of it. And please bear in mind, at this point, only discuss the black boxes. Once the ideas have been generated, so the students can start writing. Using the ideas that have been discussed, students will expand and elaborate it. In this sample, I have given the introduction to help the students to start their writing. Most of the students have difficulty in starting their writing. Usually, I will give an example of introduction, and I also encourage them to make their own introduction, but I will always give a sample for them to make as guidance. Paragraph 2. Ask the students on the idea of what is their pet and also the idea of how does it look like. Paragraph 3 wants the students to explain on the reasons of their choice of pet. Encourage them to give 2 to 3 reasons. The next paragraph requires the students to explain on the ways of taking care of it. Do take note at the left side of the box are the words that can help the students to generate their ideas, and at the right side of the box are the linkers and cohesive devices which plays an important part in making their writing goes smoothly. Last is the conclusion. Look at the blue boxes here. The color has changed, which means the ideas in the boxes have been generated by the students. And now it's time to make the conclusion. Here, we can ask the students on their opinions about pet and how they feel of having the pet in their life. Once everything has been generated and constructed, one whole piece of writing have been done. Now, let's summarize everything. Recap 1. Students need to understand the question. Recap 2. Students need to build up their vocabulary. Recap 3. Create ideas. And recap 4. Give opinions and benefit. And it must be related with the question itself. That will be all from me. Thank you for joining us today. Stay safe and God bless.
Baiklah, untuk part 3. Artikel akan disampaikan oleh Puan Nastasia binti Masri alias Masri.
Assalamualaikum, I am Nastasia binti Masri alias Masri. I'm here because I'm sharing a presentation about writing an article for part 3. Before I begin with the module, I would like to share some challenges I face when teaching writing for the students. Students do not respond during the lesson, lack of vocabulary, and demotivate to do writing activities. There are some factors contribute to these issues, such as lack of ideas to initiate writing and struggles to develop the ideas fluently. Let us look how we carry out the module. The process is easy. With vocabulary, building sentences, and writing. In vocabulary, students will do word search and transfer information. Then, students will build sentences based on the keywords given. Next, student will revise the format. Finally, student will do the practice on writing an article. These activities will facilitate students to generate ideas effectively. Number 1, word search. In word search, students have to find 22 hidden words. In this part, students may use dictionary to know the meaning of this word. It can help them to learn the topic effectively. Students are able to focus on words that are less familiar and more difficult. It also encourages students to memorize and recognize the words. Number 2, information transfer. It consists of 5 parts: balanced diet, exercise, sleep regularly, obesity, and reducing stress. In this part, students will do a variety of activities. Students have to fill in the blanks with suitable answer. They also require to transfer the information from a visual graphic to the spaces provided. Students have to concentrate in arranging and organizing the words to produce the correct answer. In balanced diet activities, students have to match the words from column A to column B. Then choose the suitable words to fill in the blanks. For exercise regularly activity, students have to look at the pictures and fill in the blanks with suitable words. Then use these words to complete the sentences. By doing these activities, it can increase students' interactivity and discussion. Students might confuse and misinterpret the image. Teachers will guide the students to get the correct answers. As we all know, for low proficiency students, reading by themselves and looking at pictures might overload students' cognitive capacity. Therefore, teachers need to help the students. Number 3, building sentences. In building sentences activities, students will use the keywords given to build sentences. WH questions allow students to brainstorm ideas. Moreover, by using linking words and phrases, students will learn to combine sentences in a variety of ways. Number 4, format. Students will revise the format of an article. It allows students to examine the important aspect in writing, and they will get a clear direction for writing. Number 5, writing practices. In this part, students will be given an article questions. Students have to read and understand the questions. They will rewrite the answer from building sentences activities. Students also can use the answers from previous activities as their resources for writing. Here are some guidelines for students to answer the questions. First, students should organize their points into paragraphs and ensure a smooth flow from one paragraph to the next. Next, provide a clear structure: beginning, middle, and conclusion. Students have to write within the number of words given. It is important for students to do writing activities. It helps them to get the appropriate experience about the topic and help them to revise for exam. As a conclusion, this module is a potential tool for students to use as. While it is not perfect, it can help students in developing their writing skill. I hope this module can motivate students to write in English.
Part 3, bahagian report, akan disampaikan pula oleh Puan Diana Aloy Daniel.
All feeling great. I'm Miss Diana from SMK Taman Perumahan Bedaun Labuan, and I'm an English teacher. All right, are you ready to start this exciting lesson in this module on how to write a report about online shopping? I know I am. Let's get started. What is a report? A report is written as a formal account of an event or a situation. There are several types of reports. You could write a report for a school magazine or newsletter. You could even be asked to write a book report as an assignment. The most common task is to be asked to write a report for a club, society, or organization, or it could be a report written to the principal, teacher advisor, or manager. Now let's get into our topic for our task. Online shopping. I'm sure most of you have tried doing some online shopping, haven't you? What kind of things did you buy online? How do you buy things online? Was it easy or more difficult than conventional shopping? To help you to write, you need to have a little bit of prior knowledge so that you'll have content for your report. In this module, we have prepared QR codes which you can scan, and you will be provided with some good resources about online shopping. The first one is an English lesson by Aisha Muhammad Hamdan and an infographic video about online shopping by Nadia Amzani on YouTube. There is also an article written by Katrina and Benedict on a blog called Janio Asia. There is also a sample essay about online shopping which you can read for reference. So how cool is that? Now let's start. This is your task. Let's read it together. Online shopping refers to the way of buying things online. You have been asked to write a report for your school magazine about online shopping. What is online shopping? Pros or advantages and cons, disadvantages of online shopping. What do you usually buy? Your report will be published in the school magazine. Write your report in at least 200 to 250 words in an appropriate style. We'll start off with task 1, which is a simple vocabulary exercise. In task 1, match the word to its correct meaning. Then, in part 2, use the word in part 1 to fill in the blanks in the sentences. You may use these words that you have learnt in your report writing later. Now that you've learned some new words, let's brainstorm for some ideas. By creating a mind map, it will provide you a structured way to capture and organize ideas and information. It has a creative way to understand concepts by breaking them down into smaller components. The technique is used to develop new ideas or to break down and better understand information. So you could choose your own way of creating a mind map. You could draw shopping bags or shopping carts, or you could opt for the conventional mind map. Write short notes by answering the questions. Let's move on. You might have come across the different formats of writing a report. There are many types of formats published in books, modules, or online, and I'd like you to take a look at these. This first format is used when you want to write a report for a school magazine, a newsletter, or a book report. You have to write a title, an introduction, include at least 3 points, and end it with a conclusion. On the bottom left side of the page, you should write reported by, put down your signature, write your name, and your designation or your post. In this next format, it is used when you want to write a report for a club, a society, or an organization, or when you want to write a report to the principal, a teacher advisor, or a manager. So fill in the details of the person you are writing the report to, write your name, the date, and the title. What's different in this format is that you need to write a mini title or a subheading for every paragraph of your report. You do not need to sign your name at the end of the report. Now, let's move on to the content of the report. In paragraph 1, write your introduction by answering these questions. What is the purpose or the aim you are writing this report? Explain what online shopping is in your own words. Give examples of the types of online shopping websites that you visit to buy your things. On the right side of the page, there are some suggested phrases to help you start your sentences. Remember that you need to include cohesive devices in your writing as it will be assessed in the grammar part of your writing. In paragraph 2, elaborate on the first point. How often do you buy things online? What are the things that you buy? You can give more examples here by stating the things that you have bought online. You know, like when you order food using online delivery services, or the time you bought your favorite football jersey online. State 1 or 2 reasons on why you bought these things online. In paragraph 3, elaborate more on the second point. Give more details. Explain the steps you took when you bought the things online. Did you compare the prices, varieties, or brands? How did you do this? Again, remember to include linkers and sequence connectors in your sentences. Try to write simple and compound sentences. If you can, you could even write complex sentences in your report. In paragraph 4, elaborate on the advantages and disadvantages of online shopping. What did you like most about online shopping? Have you ever encountered any problems? What was the worst part of online shopping? Write about it. Give 1 or 2 advices on how to shop safely online. And finally, in the last paragraph, bring the report to an end by summing up your points. Give your recommendation or make suggestions about what you think should be done. Check if you have answered and included all the points, tick all the points, proofread, and check for spelling or grammar mistakes. There, I guess you're all ready to write your report. You can write your report in the space given in the module. I hope you have learned something from this video. Till we meet again, take care and happy writing. Thank you.
Beralih kita ke part 3 story yang mana akan disampaikan oleh Puan Nur Fazila binti Arif dan juga Puan Nur Azimah binti Joybi.
A very good day. Thank you for tuning into today's webinar on Writing 101 CEFR-Aligned 2021 for Upper Secondary Module. My name is Nur Fazila binti Arif. I am an English teacher in SMK Silabukan Lahad Datu, Sabah. My partner, Madam Nur Azimah, and I will be presenting on part 3 of this module, which is story. First of all, I will start with the instruction for this part because explanation of instruction is crucial before teacher starts teaching lower English proficiency pupils in order for them to understand the requirements needed to answer the question. So here is the instruction. The theme is consumerism and financial awareness. Your English teacher asks you to write a story for the English Language Society newsletter. The story must have the title, Something I Really Wanted to Buy. Your story should include: give reasons why you wanted the item, what were the things you had to do to buy the item. Write your story in 200 to 250 words. Teacher has to make sure that pupils understand the instruction before going to the next task. Next, as an introduction, the pupils will watch a video for 5 minutes. The video is about a guy who won $1 million and bought everything he never dreamed of having. Why do we choose to use video as an introduction for story writing? Using videos actually brings many benefits to teachers, especially in teaching lower proficiency pupils, because number one, it can engage pupils towards the topic. Pupils will be able to relate the topic to their schemata by linking new information to their prior knowledge. Secondly, it can integrate the outside world into classroom. Next, video stimulates activities. Last but not least, video brings more information as it is colorful and informative, which is absolutely suitable for lower proficiency pupils to attract their interests and motivations to write. After pupils watch the video and have Q&A session with their teacher, pupils will go through task 2, which focuses on vocabulary building. Lower English proficiency pupils might find it difficult to start a story because they do not have enough lexical items to be applied in their writing. So in this part, pupils will complete a circle map with suitable words, which are the target vocabulary to be inserted in their story later on. Pupils can simply choose the answers from the box. Other than using videos as instructional material in classroom, we think that using pictures is also helpful to engage discussion of essential vocabulary. In addition, pictures depict real-life situation and hopefully will be able to build vocabulary before pupils write their complete story. That is all for task 1 and task 2. My friend Madam Nur Azima will continue with task 3 and task 4. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hello to everyone. Okay, first of all, thank you for tuning in today's webinar on Writing 101 CEFR-Aligned 2021 for upper secondary module. Okay, I'm Nur Azima binti Joibi, and I'm an English teacher in SMK sebagai Lahad Datu, and together with my partner Nur Fazila binti Arif, we will be presenting part 3 on story today. Yeah. Okay, so I will be presenting task 3 and task 4. Okay, for task 3, teacher will explain the writing format for story to the pupils, and teacher will also help the pupils on how to draft points for their story when writing their story. And I decided for the low proficiency pupils to only write 4 paragraphs for their story essay. That's include introduction, 2 paragraphs for body, and 1 paragraph for conclusion. Why I choose 4 paragraphs? It's because it is easier for the low proficiency students to finish their essay. Okay, for paragraph 1, teacher will ask the pupils to use 5 W and 1 H questions when drafting their points. And in paragraph 2, the students will draft their points according to the first question from the essay, which is give reasons why you wanted the item. And in paragraph 3, the pupils will answer and write their points on what were the things you had to do to buy the item. And in paragraph 4, the pupils will write the conclusion. Also, they will also use the 5W and 1H questions. And next, in task 4, the students will do fill in the blanks activity, paragraph by paragraph. Why I choose this activity is because this will be the pupils' writing practice before they start making their own sentences. And after they finish the fill in the blanks activity, the pupils will rewrite all the paragraphs to produce a complete essay. Okay, this is the question. This is the paragraph 1, introduction. Paragraph 2, reasons. Paragraph 3, what I did to buy the item. And the last one is paragraph 4, conclusion. And so the students will be provided a blank page like this to rewrite their essay and finish and try to finish the essay. Yeah, thank you. That's all from me.
Baiklah, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan yang dihormati sekalian. Sekarang tibalah masanya untuk kita sama-sama mendengar ucapan perasmian penutupan oleh Yang Berusaha Tuan Yusof bin Haji Muhammad, Pengarah Pendidikan, Jabatan Pendidikan, Wilayah Persekutuan Labuan. Dengan segala hormatnya, dipersilakan.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera, salam Labuan sebab guru sayang muridnya. Kecemerlangan dan kemenjadian murid bermula di sini. Semua murid adalah bernilai dan semua sekolah adalah sekolah pilihan. Syukur kita kepada Allah SWT dengan izin dan rahmatnya, sebuah modul pembelajaran bahasa Inggeris dapat dihasilkan untuk murid menengah atas. Tahniah dan syabas kepada unit bahasa Sektor Pembelajaran dan jawatan kuasa task force bahasa Inggeris Sektor Pembelajaran, Pejabat Pendidikan Daerah Datu, Sektor Pembelajaran Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri Sabah dan Jabatan Pendidikan Persekutuan Labuan atas inisiatif menerbitkan modul Bahasa Inggeris Writing 101 CEFR-Aligned 2021 for Upper Secondary 2021. Intipati modul ini bersesuaian dengan aspirasi Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia agar standard pendidikan dalam negara kita setanding dengan piawaian antarabangsa. Sebagaimana yang kita maklum, format sijil pelajaran Malaysia SPM Kertas Bahasa Inggeris telah dijajarkan kepada the Common European Framework of Reference for Language CEFR mulai tahun 2021. Pentaksiran merangkumi 4 instrumen, iaitu kertas 1 kemahiran membaca, kertas 2 kemahiran menulis, kertas 3 kemahiran bertutur dan kertas 4 kemahiran mendengar. Perubahan daripada pengajaran dan pembelajaran di dalam kelas secara bersemuka oleh guru kepada pengajaran dan pembelajaran di rumah PDPR melalui kaedah dalam dan luar talian mungkin telah mengubah corak penyampaian kandungan pembelajaran dan memberi impak berbeza kepada murid. Maka penghasilan modul ini tepat pada masanya kerana murid-murid yang akan menduduki peperiksaan dalam beberapa bulan lagi memerlukan bahan sokongan tambahan bagi mengukuhkan lagi tahap penguasaan bahasa Inggeris mereka. Panduan dan latihan dalam modul ini bermula dengan aras mudah agar murid berpeluang untuk mengikuti penulisan secara berperingkat, sistematik dan bersesuaian dalam tahap proficiency masing-masing. Saya berharap perkongsian dalam modul yang telah dibentangkan oleh panel penulis yang berdedikasi dan berpengalaman dalam webinar hari ini akan dapat memberi pengetahuan kepada semua guru bahasa Inggeris menengah atas tentang kelebihan modul ini untuk dijadikan sebagai bahan rujukan pengajaran dan bahan latihan kepada murid untuk kertas penulisan bahasa Inggeris SPM tahun 2021. Oleh itu, manfaatkanlah sepenuhnya modul ini supaya benar-benar memberi impak kepada pengajaran dan pembelajaran yang berkualiti. Dengan ini, dengan lafaz Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, saya dengan sukacitanya meresmikan penutupan webinar writing 101 CEFR-Aligned 2021 for upper secondary. Sekian, wabillahi taufiq hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Baiklah, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan yang saya hormati sekalian, majlis webinar kita telah pun sampai ke penghujungnya. Bunga seroja di atas para jatuh ditimpa buah berangan. Andai kita tersilap bicara, kemaafan jua yang kami mohonkan. Dan dari Kedah ke Pekansari, beli suasa di kota tinggi. Selesai sudah tugas diberi, di lain masa bersua lagi insya Allah.